Hello again, Lockpicking Paul here, and this is the second in a series of 3 challenge lock videos, because Tinnie sent me a whole bunch of challenge locks, which is really nice. Thank you very much, Tinnie. And there was a bit of a surprise amongst the challenge locks. So we've got Redacted and we've got Fly Me to the Moon, and the third lock, or the second lock I'm going to pick, is this one. And this is number 49, the SF49ers, and this is a bit special, in as much that there was a lovely little note included with the locks. I'm not going to read this; it's a personal note, but what it basically said is, it's a keeper. So he didn't make this to go out into the community; he made it for me, which is incredibly flattering. So I'm really very, very touched by that. It's nice that someone's thought of you and has made something for you. This is customary detail. It's got Tinnie, the autographed key. It's a few bits of information on it. It's autographed on here. It's actually autographed on the core on the inside. And I have actually found a way of making shims for this, or making shims fit. A regular follower doesn't fit this, so I've had to actually take a piece of stainless and turn it to the right diameter. This is marginally smaller, this core, than a regular Euro core, and it just doesn't fit in. So I've got a little set I've made for it, something to hold the note, the follower, and the lock. And that's going to sit inside my cabinet of nice locks. So what you're about to see is a pick, a very, very fast pick of this, because it has a particular way to open this lock. And I would direct anyone to Tinnie's challenge lock blog if they're about to tackle one of his locks, and really think about what he said. There might be a clue in there. In this particular case, it's one of several locks he's built on what he calls the Chubb Cruiser technology, or lever lock anti-pick notch technology. There is a particular way to defeat that, and it does work on this lock. So but if you try and apply anything more than just basic tension, this thing seizes up just like a lever lock with anti-pick notches does. So if you've got any experience with lever locks and anti-pick notches, the answer is very, very, very light tension, and the lock responds very well to that. So anyway, pick and gut coming up. This is after the fact. It's all reassembled and it works beautifully, and it's now going to go into the collection as a cherished item. So Tinnie, thank you so much for that. Very, very kind of you. All right, see you in a moment. Right, let's get this picked and gutted. And the special lock demands a special tool. The first pick I ever made, or rather one of the first 2 picks I ever made, because I made 2 in the same go. So this is a slightly deeper hook. And we are open. It's a good tool, that. This is a good lock as well. I mean, it doesn't always open that fast. It's just I've worked out the right sequence now. And the right technique, because in Tinnie's challenge lock, he talks about each of the locks, gives some of the history, talks about how and why the lock was made. And in this particular case, he talks about Chubb Cruiser technology. And just change this a second. Chubb Cruisers are lever locks that have lots of false gates, and if you use too much tension and lift the levers, they bind up and they lock tight. And this does exactly the same thing. If you put too much tension on this lock, it locks super tight and it will not open. And I just applied the same principle. So I've picked a few chubs and I know how they work. And I thought, right, really low tension, and it works. It helps this thing not get bound up, and the pins go setting home. So it's quite a fun lock. It's more a puzzle than it is a lock almost. It's quite interesting. And it has another interesting trait, something I can't repeat on demand, but I've done it more than once, which is if you overset the lock and then bounce the core, the pins jump into the right position and the lock opens, which is really, really interesting. And if I ever catch that on camera, I'll probably stick a video up, because the only locks I've ever seen that you can overset and then shake the core and have it open is a wafer lock. So that makes this a little bit unique, I think. Right, I've got the key, so we will lock it back up again. And where's the shim? Now I can actually get a shim in here. Get a second shim in because it's a very, very long core. Right, two shims in. Let's pull out that. It's a very long core. Right, we'll do the key pins first. And the key pins are, as in all of Tinnie's locks, absolutely beautiful. You can go back in there. So we've got a torpedo in one, a serrated in two, a kind of lipped one in three, another torpedo, another serrated, and another torpedo. Or a torpedo with a serrated is in five here. So I'll show you those in a minute. There are no modifications to the core. And obviously Tinnie has autographed the core as well. Put that in there for now. Right, pull out some shims. We've got loads of shims in here now. Right, so pin number one is a standard, or tapered, I should think. I think that is actually got a light taper on it, I think. Steel spring, and the springs are all different in this. But the next one out is a T-pin, like so. See if that spring out, if it will come out. I'm not sure that spring will come out. See if we can give it out, because this one's a copper spring, I think. It's a very short spring, and it's refusing to come out. What I don't want to do is force it. Let's see if I can hook it out gently. If I can't, I'll leave it in there. But there we go, it's coming. There you go. It's a copper copper spring. Next one is a tapered T-pin. I'll show you that when we do a close-up. That's with another copper spring. We've got another tapered pin, I think. So let's get it on a steel spring. So let's get the steel one out because it's longer and easier to remove. So I'll get that copper one out. Number 5. Let's drop down the hole. Is another tapered T-pin. Shorter one this time. And another T-pin in 6. With another copper spring. Right, let's do the obligatory close-up. Look at those fantastic and beautiful pins. So Tinnie, I'm really honoured that you did this for me. I love it. It's really nice. I'm really touched. And thank you very much. I will cherish the lock. And I'm going to try and see if I can do that bounce, release and open thing on it. Because it was really interesting. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy your picking. Cheers.